Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of 360 Chat. My name's Epe and today I'm joined with three guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves? What's up, aunty?
Hey, hello. I'm Bookie Grace Waits. Ife's auntie, her mum's sister.
Hello, I'm Tonya Dickey, Ife's mum, and my sister just said she's my sister.
And yeah, I'm back again for the third time. It's me, Evan. Great, yeah.
But yeah, today's episode is basically going to be about comparing mine and my cousin's generation to my auntie and my mum's generation. I asked my auntie if she wanted to know the question. She said she was too surprised, so by default my mum's surprised as well.
Yeah, I think it's best to be spontaneous with our answers.
Yeah, you can't be planning the answers. No one doesn't like surprises. But and they're also going to go into their school life as well.
Oh.
And explain chocolate, baby.
Yeah.
And what?
Explain chocolate.
We're posh. We're not supposed to talk about that.
That's all we'll get into today. But we'll get into that when we get into the segment.
Right,
But,
you find out what chocolate is.
yeah. In fact, comment down below what you think chocolate is. And then we'll see if you guys get it right. But yeah, we'll get into the first segment, which is basically just comparing like our generations. So, this is a question for auntie and mum. Would you say that the way you were raised is extremely different to the way we were raised and how you raised us?
Extremely different.
And why?
Should I go first?
Anyone go first?
Okay, extremely different. For starters, I think I was raised more, by my grandmother. So there's a bit of difference there with my grandmother. The strictness is there. She's very, very strict, and she wouldn't spoil you just because your parents are not around you. So I remember there was a day, and I think I might have told you before. So in primary school, while I was chewing gum, and the teacher, we're not allowed to chew in school then, and the teacher came up to me and she took out the chewing gum and put it in the center of my head. And then, we usually have styles when we go to school. So my grandmother was like, oh, what style are you supposed to be taking to school today? And I was like, oh, no, we don't have any style. We're repeating the same thing. And my grandmother was like, no, that's not true. Your mother went to that school, so I know. So anyway, cut long story short, my grandmother now took me to the school with a cane behind her and told the teacher to spank me. If you don't listen when you're at school, how would you listen when you're at home? But the thing with you guys, I can even see the look in your eyes now. The thing with you guys is like, when you always want us to support you at school, like even if you're wrong, you still want the support.
Actually,
Yeah, but it's not right.
Yeah.
No, support in front of the teachers.
Yeah.
Well, in our generation, in our days, some people do that. They will actually support their children.
So why didn't
And
you
then
do
go-
that?
Because that's not how I was raised. So the difference is, yeah, there's integrity.
So you raised the voice like the teacher?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, somehow. Yeah.
But do you think that the way of how you were raised in that way, was it right?
I think so, because if my grandmother had to cover me all the time, then it wouldn't be nice for me, to be honest. There are times when she will stand up for me and she will tell me that. She will tell the teacher, no, my granddaughter will not do that. But, it's a different, ball game then. But she would never go out of her way to lie for you, She wouldn't do that.
Auntie, what do you have?
I guess it's definitely different because we were raised in Africa and you guys are raised in the Western world, and the way we were brought up was very different. you, especially when it comes to children and adults, you don't respond when an adult talks to you. You just accept it. But your generation is what we would call in Yoruba Sorosuke, which means which means that you respond. If you think someone is wrong, you will respond to it. But we won't do it. So if my mom scolded me, I won't talk back to her. We don't talk back to adults. And it doesn't matter. When we were growing up, any adult could tell you off. Not even your parents, any adult, wherever you are, would tell you off. But now, you guys, even as a parent, you don't like us to tell you off. Talk less of some random adult on the street. So it's a different upbringing, very different.
Because you can tell.
It's a cultural thing. That's purely it. The way you're brought up in Africa and the way you're brought up in the West is entirely different. That's just it. So we give you kind of leeway because we understand you're surrounded by people who are generally more flexible in the way they deal with their children. But in Africa, it's different. Even today, it's still, different. Do you agree?
Yeah. It's totally different.
Yeah.
But would you say it's better to be raised the way you guys were raised, or better to be raised, I guess, how you were raised? Because I would say the way we are, we can speak up. Like if something's, I guess if we feel like something's not right, we can speak up. But then I feel like something's not right, we couldn't speak up.
No, there's a way you can actually put it. But it's not the way that you guys will say it, There's a way you would actually put it through to your parents. But the way you guys will do it is just an instant thing, like, yeah, I know, yeah, things like that. You don't understand. But, if my mom is telling, or if our mom is saying that, can you do that? I remember there was one time that my mom got back from work and she went, can you come and take my shoes off? If I told you or asked you to, Ife, come and take my shoes off, you'd be like, don't you have your hands?
But in church, when we were younger, some people's moms used to make us put their socks on for them.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing,
But now we never do it.
No, but
We
then,
never ask you to do that.
yeah, but then, if I had asked you, Ife, can you put my socks on? You'll be like, can't you do it yourself?
No,
But
say
someone
you're
else
right.
now asked you, and you now did it for that person.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
That's how now if I say no to the person, they'll now go to you and say, your child is rude.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think it's a balance. I don't think I would say 100% because as Africans and in our upbringing we're very reactive. So sometimes we don't actually, understand the situation before we react. And the example I gave is where, when I've thought about this before, is where your child is at home trying to bake a cake for you. You've come home from work, there's flour, there's egg, and maybe you had plans for the flour, the egg, and everything. And all you see is the mess. You don't see the fact that the child has, tried to bake that cake for you. And I think I even, I was talking to someone about it, another Nigerian, and she said, what's the child doing there, the eggs anyway? So that's the thinking that what are you doing? Who begged you? I didn't ask you to bake me a cake. So why are you creating more mess for me? And that's it. We're very reactive. We just think, why are you doing this? I didn't ask you to do it. As opposed to the Western person would think, actually, I know you've made a mess and I can clean up the mess, but I want you to feel appreciated that at least you thought of me. So I must confess, in some ways I think like that now. I think, first and foremost, it's about the intent instead of the reaction, or the action itself.
I also think a lot of Nigerians, the African culture, aren't open, or your generation, excuse me, aren't open to listening to our generation's way about the way in which you go things. So you would say that yes, you're like this now, but it did take you a while to get to that stage. You know what I mean? Whereas you, auntie, I don't know if you're like that. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but I don't know if you as accepting of that. Do you know what I'm saying?
But she's still there.
No, I disagree because I think your mum has changed the most.
She has changed,
And
but maybe not the same.
And having said, saying that, Omoze actually said that, I've actually changed a lot compared to how they were raised to how Ife was raised,
That's what I was saying. I'm going to hold on with it.
So,
But maybe not your instance, but like I guess a lot of other Nigerians that are more traditional aren't open to that. Like even grandma, for example, you could say that grandma would be like, when I'm telling you to do something, you have to do it then and there. Do you get what I mean? Some people aren't as they're still stuck in their ways. I guess it's just I think it's just also a case of just moving with the generation, moving with the trend, and moving with how the society goes about things. I guess there's always a respect aspect of things because no matter what, you should respect your elders. But yeah, like you said, I guess it's just dependent on the person. I think too.
What do you think? Do you think there's a right or wrong
In terms of,
the way we're brought up?
I mean, sometimes I don't think the way you guys were raised was right with certain things. In terms of, I would say like punishment, and in terms of like what you can and what you can't say. But I think that just creates room for you to kind of be standoffish around certain people and around older people because you're not allowed to really say what you really want to say compared to how, I guess, to be honest, I wouldn't even say we were necessarily raised like that. I would just say it's just default. Like how we are now, it's kind of like we just kind of grew up to be this way. I wouldn't say it's necessarily how we were raised because when I was younger, the stuff I was saying now, I wouldn't say when I was younger. If that makes sense. So, yeah, I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong, but there's certain things I wouldn't do personally. Like beat my kids, weapons, innit?
Weapon.
What
Weapons.
I don't beat my kids at all. I don't beat my kids at all.
But did you ever?
Okay.
Did you think that you wouldn't beat your kids?
No, because I think sometimes you really need to get that. I guess for me, and I'm talking personally, my anger, I allow myself to get to a point where I'm really, really angry. So I'm not as reactive as some other people, and I allow myself to get to that point where I'm so angry, and then I just kind of let it, let loose.
You just bust out.
Yeah. So for me, that's not good. Definitely. If I was going to do things again, I'll address things, gradually. So I'm not getting to the point where I'm really, really angry, and frustrated, and I deal with things the way I've done. But I still think that there has to be some form of, whether it's naughty corner, whether it's there has to be something that makes the child understand that what they're doing is wrong.
Sorry, I think with me, with the other three or the first two, is getting their phones from them, especially with Oma. So from the minute I started taking our phones away from her, then she started doing, she reformed herself, instead of beating or, she reformed herself. So the punishment sometimes, it trains the child.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you have to learn your kid before, like, to get to the point where you understand what works for them and what doesn't in terms of punishment.
Most of it is reactive. Again, it's just reactive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
I'll give you an example. Sorry, Eben. An example was somebody when we were in Nigeria. Somebody came to me and told one of my children off. No, she told me about something that one of my children had done, and the expectation was I had to deal with that child before, whether or not she was right or wrong. The fact that she was being reported, I had to just give her a slap. And I'm like, no, but why would I do that? Why, just because you're telling, just because you're telling me. But that's just the way you deal with the child before you even hear the story.
Which isn't good.
Yeah, that's
So honestly, you guys are living in bliss, compared to if you were living in Nigeria.
I also think that their generation is like less sensitive. Do you know what I mean? Like less sensitive to things in general, which I would say is a good thing. Like you would to describe our generation, the Western world. Yeah, we're really soft. Like in primary school, I'd have a bruise, a little bruise. Like maybe I'll scratch I'll fall down and scratch my knee, and they'll take me in for the rest of the day or something like that. As opposed in Nigeria, you'll be
Get off!
Get on with it.
I'm sorry.
When I got in Nigeria, they just wiped it off and
It's not plain.
exactly.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So I feel like in that aspect, it's a very different dynamic. Like you guys are more tough. We're just not as tough.
And don't forget also, we didn't grow up in the kind of social media, environment that you guys had. So we always had to talk to each other. And we could understand each other better because we were more physical. We saw each other, we spoke to each other. We didn't even have phones per se when we were growing up. We didn't communicate via phone. So you had to go and see your friend so you could talk. But now you've got social media, you can, you have emojis to express yourself, which might not. Just because you send a smiley emoji doesn't mean you're smiling.
That's true.
But if I see my friend and I say what's happening and, she says she's smiling, I can tell instantly that there's something wrong. So I think for that reason, we're able to communicate with ourselves better. And we don't use social media as a form of
Escaping.
You go looking for your friend comes looking for you, and that's how it is, not on your gadgets.
Yeah.
I even prefer that in a way because I feel like in this day and age we're consumed by social media. Like we'll see a TikTok or we'll see like something that we may relate to, and all of a sudden like it's coming up on our For You page so many times, and we see it more and we're more consumed and more consumed. I think it's a very toxic environment. I'd much prefer to like not necessarily grow up in your generation though, but like maybe not have that social media phone aspect as much,
You can switch up if you want to.
No, it can. It's now that we've grown.
I don't know TikTok or Instagram right now.
You can switch up, but then you're kind of excluding people.
Yeah.
No,
I don't even say it's
depends.
people.
No, with my friends, if I know I'm going off social media, I'll tell them, if you want to message me, message me. Yeah. But that even brings me on to something else, because Auntie and I were speaking about when I came to your house, about like dating and stuff, and that with our generation, like because of social media and like the girls and like how they portray themselves, it makes it kind of, I guess, hard for the guys to keep up with it. But he said, you were saying about what you guys used to do back in the day where you go on a date and then you bring your friends and then come and eat as well. So what's the date?
And you take away for the ones who are not there.
What would you say? How would you, I guess, compare the dating life then to now?
I think it's just for me, dating would have been you're dating, you're not intimate with that person. You're dating, so you're going out, you take your friends as well with you, and you all eat together and you go home, you have fun. Sometimes why are my friends there? Because, they're friends. We go everywhere.
To assess the guy too. To assess no, honestly, sometimes you go on a date with someone that you don't really want to date. You just think, the guy's trying to throw his money around, so fine. Let's go and eat. And my friends come along.
Yeah. Were you expecting the friend to be there though? Or was that something that was normal?
I think back then it's expected.
Safety as well.
Yeah.
How do you even get to the point where you go on a date? Like, how do you meet the person and all that stuff?
The guy's trying to chat you up. You might meet at a friend's place. You might, I think for me, most of the people I dated, I met at school. So I don't know anyone. I didn't date anyone who I didn't meet at school. And it's not again, this is what other people do. I wouldn't say that I've been on a date with someone and taken someone else. I wouldn't say I've done that. Or taken takeaway for the people who are not there. But yeah, it's what's common. And I think people still do it. And one expectation.
They still do it?
Yes, they take their friends. But one thing is that if a guy asks you out on a date, he has to pay. No, nobody
Yeah.
is. I'm not even taking money. You know, so no, I'm not taking money. So he understands in Nigeria.
He knows he
understands
has to
he
pay.
has to pay.
Yeah.
Women don't pay for
Yeah.
First date though. You're talking
Yeah.
about first date.
any date.
Any day.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't pay. If he's
So
asking
you
you
so not even on like the 5th date, you wouldn't.
any dates.
So what if you guys are like girlfriend, boyfriend?
Yeah, girlfriend, boyfriend.
Auntie said any
Wow.
days.
He, you know, once you go out, you know that he's taking
They just
care
see
of
it as a
So if he
duty.
hasn't got it,
Mm.
then you stay at home and you will make the food.
Oh.
Yes. If he can't afford to take you out, if he says let's go to a restaurant, or you say I feel like eating suya, and he says let's go, then he has to pay for it.
Mm.
If he can't afford to pay for it, he will say let's eat at home,
But isn't
and then you cook.
but if it isn't him not
Am I wrong?
Well, well, how would I say?
And your mom left Nigeria at 20, so
Yeah, so that's
So that's
the
a
thing.
different thing. She
Yeah.
won't understand the dating scene as such in
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Yeah, but well, when I was in Nigeria, I dated 2 guys, didn't I? The first one, he's late now, and he's more of a friend. I had him as more of a brother, and with him he had about 11 other friends. So they always walk in groups. So, and we went to the same school, so it was easier. We're able to see ourselves more. And I remember when I was finishing school, then there was this other guy, he came around as well. And this guy was taking me to school that day. And, I wanted to sit at the back of the car. It was like, no, come to the front. I said, come and sit in front of the car. Why are you going to the back? So the dating bit, when I was away from Nigeria and, where I went to school, we all came together because we had loads of Africans there as well. So we got to know each other. So it was like partying every time. And of course, that was where I met your dad. And that's
It's
it.
history.
It's history. Yeah.
But I was gonna say sorry. When you say what was that thing you were saying? Oh yes, that he can't afford that. He now comes to the house and cook. This day and age, that'll be an ick.
Not really.
I think so. He can't afford. Some people would. If you
No,
can't
he's not going to
afford
tell
it,
you he can't afford it.
Yeah. How does it
How
go
would I
about?
say it?
No, he just
How
said
do
let's
you
stay
go about
home and just let's have a meal at home.
So you let's have a meal at home that you did plan on preparing for. Just have to do it.
Yeah,
But
but
for me, for example, I wouldn't do that.
If it's okay for you to go on a date without paying at any
Exactly.
point in time.
Someone
then
is cooking someone else is cooking the food as opposed to you cooking the food.
yeah.
yeah, but you see, that's
Depends on how serious you are.
exactly, and that's the beat I say that, your generation is selfish. Yes, because someone is taking you out, or he is taking you out, and then this moment is telling you that, oh, can we just stay at home?
I don't say selfish, most entitled.
It's not an entitlement.
No, I'll say our generation is entitled.
Well, yes, you just feel you're entitled. Yeah. But, having that date with that person, and staying back to just cook for that person, sometimes they might want to know whether you know how to cook or not.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Cook for someone that you're
Not
dating?
first date, no.
Someone that you're dating. You're not girlfriend, like boyfriend, boyfriend.
But I think
Depends how far along you've been dating.
yeah.
You don't expect that of me after 1 month. I don't know.
What's dating actually? Because and this is where I get confused. If I'm seeing someone more than 3 times or 4 times, we're already boyfriend and girlfriend.
Lovers.
We
And
don't necessarily have to be.
enough.
We don't necessarily no, but that's how you get to know someone. I don't want to be seeing this one 3 or 4 times, seeing that one 3 or 4 times. If I'm seeing you 3 or 4, in fact, I think if I see you and I like you, then we're dating or we're already boyfriend and girlfriend.
So, Auntie, do you
It's just
feel
an
like,
assumption.
do you feel like the person has to ask you to be their girlfriend? Or it's just something, a mutual understanding?
I think it's I can't even remember, but I would say, I'd say once you have that chemistry and you like each other, you just want to be around each other all the time, and it just naturally progresses into, you
Deeper than
you're an item
In this generation, the girl will expect you to take to a restaurant and then have it written on a plate. Will you be my girlfriend?
Oh,
really?
Go to a hotel room and then will you be my girlfriend? in
Louis
balloons?
Vuitton bag.
really?
But me, I'm not one to like.
No, we don't do. No, we didn't do any of that. I think I would date somebody. I only dated people that I liked, and if that attraction is there, then together you just spend all your time. You want to spend all your time together.
Do you date multiple people at once?
Hmm?
Do you date multiple people at once?
No.
That's how it is.
That's how it is now.
No,
Dating multiple people at once,
no.
and you find the one that you like,
Yeah.
and then that's a situationship for another month or two.
No, and that's why a lot of us, you find that, people, my friends, a lot of us would already have kind of settled in our early 20s.
Not this generation.
In our early 20s, you know who, even the guy would know, actually, I like this girl, and this is who I want to be
settle
with,
with her.
and that's it. Most of my friends in our early 20s.
This generation, everyone's saying 30. Not me.
31.
30.
That they want to what?
That they want to settle.
Settle.
Yeah.
I don't
30,
think so.
30.
But why?
Onwards.
Well,
Live their life.
don't get us wrong. In our generation, you have people like that as well.
Yeah, but that's some people. This our generation is majority.
Yeah,
No one wants to live with anymore.
Why?
Because by the
Can't
time,
trust people.
by the time I started having my kids, my friends were already, some of them were done with having kids.
But that's different.
How?
Because kids is different, but kids is a financial thing, it's a health thing. There's so many factors that go into having kids. But when it comes to just a simple, I want to settle down, that doesn't require any money.
No, but in my generation then, you weren't thinking that, I have to have millions in my
Not
account.
millions, I'm saying like just
You have to be financially
Enough.
stable.
enough, just enough.
No,
There was nothing like
no,
it.
there was nothing like that.
You just share everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
Something
live.
like that.
It's like you have an understanding. I don't have
Mutual
now. You
understanding.
have. You don't have now. I have. We just work.
Yeah.
You just work together to make it work. Yeah. There's nothing like have to be at a certain point or have to have this amount of money in my bank account. And a question for another day. But I think I was saying something, or even my already. I wanted to write down things I wish I knew before I committed to marriage, or and someone said, well, why do you want to go back? And I said, it's useful to have these things and to have those conversations, so you're very clear, because sometimes we just go, I like the guy, and then you find along the way you might not have the same, how do I put this? Your thinking might be,
Scorecard or
it might be different. You
So
might
you go-
you might meet someone who is not a family person, and you haven't discussed how many kids you're going to have, or maybe he wants one or two, you want more, or maybe he wants more, you just want one or two. Things like that. I think it's really important to have those discussions.
That's true.
Definitely, from the onset. Or you might have somebody who's really family. He doesn't mind
Yeah.
having your family around, his family around. And there's some people who just think, you know what, I'm not really for this. I really just want space.
yeah,
So you have to make sure you have those conversations
yeah.
at the onset.
Some people it's just me and my wife.
Yeah, and it's
my
okay.
wife and I.
Yeah,
Your terms, yeah.
it's okay if that's what they want. But if you guys know from the onset that it's like a me and my wife type of guy, then you can think, okay, is this what I want? Because
Yeah.
maybe I'm very close to my family. I don't want my family to be like away from me. It's just a discussion. It's not
Yeah.
really a big deal.
That's true. You both mentioned school. We're gonna go into your school stories. So we wanna know about how was it like in Nigerian school?
You go.
So I guess we have different experiences of school because my sister went to boarding school from the early, from year 7, what you call year 7, and I went to a day Catholic school. So it was very different. I mean, I enjoyed the secondary school that I went to, but we kind of came together when I went to do my A levels. We went to the same school when I left secondary school to go and do my A levels, and that was my first experience of boarding school. And I remember.
You know what you're about to say?
Yeah.
Because I will never forget it. My first experience, my sister had been there, so she had made friends, and I was just coming along. So she was so excited, talking to her friends, and I kept saying, we had to leave home really early. Our dad used to take us to school, which is something that we kind of took for granted, but honestly, not every parent did that. Our dad literally would drive us, wherever to school. And obviously he would need to take time off, but we didn't really appreciate any of that. So we got to the school, we left home early, got to the school. I was so hungry. And when it was about, I can't remember, in the afternoon, I said to my sister, let's go and get food. She didn't budge, she was talking to her friends. So eventually at 6 o'clock, she said, okay, let's go and get food. And guess what happened?
The food had finished.
The canteen was closed. So and it was my first day boarding school, never been, in some ways maybe I even lived a sheltered life before I went to secondary, to this school.
Boarding.
So honestly, I was so unhappy. I'm sure I cried
Yes, you
the
did.
the whole evening. And I think because we were in school, we were not allowed out of school. I
Yeah.
don't even know what we ate. I can't remember what we ate.
So you didn't end up
Oh no,
eating
but we had that woman,
Mama Miti.
Mama Meti.
Yeah, so
So
Mama
you could-
Miti used to sell bread.
Yeah, she'll sell bread and provisions, like
So you
you
guys
can
get
get.
a top shop.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
top
like
shop.
a top shop. Yeah.
What's that thing, Ghana?
Oh, Gala and Pepsi.
What about that? Is it sesame nuts? That's that yellow packet. That's sesame.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, it wasn't.
Yellow packet.
We didn't have it during our
Oh, I know.
time.
What's that?
Is
Yeah,
it the
yellow
nut,
packet?
the
Yeah.
nut type
Yeah,
of
no,
bar?
that.
Yeah.
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 You used to eat that all the time.
That's nice.
Yeah,
It's
but I
like
don't think they
seaweed.
had that. Yeah.
We didn't have it during our
Yeah.
time.
And I didn't really like Ghana.
Either recently.
We had other things that I liked, but not Ghana. We had pepper pie, scad's meat pie, all these things I like those. But yeah, for me school was interesting, and I left, Undo, FSS Undo, and I went to university, and that was the ball. I had the best time. I've met, all of my friends, even now, are friends I met at university. It was the best time, and then I came here after my NYC. So
Yeah. Well, for me, yes, from day one, secondary school, I started off with a girls only school, Federal Government Girls College, and that was 1975. Why are you laughing?
Every
So from there, I now went to Government College, Ojo. And of course, Ojo is a mixed school. So it's quite different, and and I got along with loads of people, whereby they say that the seniors, they always punish and things like that in the secondary school, in a boarding house. You cannot punish me.
yeah, because you stood up to them. You
can't
know what your
punish
mom's
me.
like. Even people that tall, she would stand up to them. So they won't punish her.
No, they can't punish me anyway, because what have I done? Why are you punishing me? Just because you want, it's just control.
Yeah.
So we have the mean girl.
She was. How did you know?
What? She was the mean girl.
Do you know what her
What
nickname
do you
is?
mean though? I can
Do you know
imagine.
what her nickname is?
What was it?
What,
Do you know what-
you had a nickname?
Yes. Oh my God.
What
You don't know it.
What was it?
Ask her.
What's your nickname?
Let her say it.
Nest.
Ah.
Do you not know that?
Mean
No.
girl.
I mean,
She
you
never
see,
told you that.
It was actually
It's because
her
she
friend
didn't
that
want to.
named me Minutes.
after you didn't let Auntie eat.
It was her friend.
Her nickname was Meanest. No, but that was from
Wait, so you
Oslo.
just call her Venus?
No, that was FSS.
No, they call you Meanest.
Yes.
Ah.
It was FSS.
But it was Meanest. She was Meanest.
It was
So
FSS.
everyone knew her as Venus.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
that was in FSS. You
But
know.
meanest as in baddest. Not mean
Not
as in
mean
wicked.
as in wicked.
Meanest was in bad, as in sick.
As in sick, yeah.
Sick as in,
Yeah.
okay. Like, what? Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
what meanest was.
You know, so that was quite different. And then when we went to Undo, that was another life, you know. And I remember going to Undo one time and then, you know, I had to go to Lagos, remember? And Daddy came.
Okay. There were so many things about Undo that, you know, honestly, the different life, you know,
Yeah.
different
And Daddy
life.
came and, you know,
He came to visit.
yeah.
And you were in Lagos.
I was in Lagos, you know. I was in Lagos. I was
Was he
with
under
Yemisi.
No, it was okay.
No.
It was fine.
It's very mild, yeah. My dad will allow you to have parties in the house.
Yeah.
You know,
Even asked
or
me
you-
once, how's
make
your
you go
boyfriend?
to-
I said he's fine.
Yeah. And make you go to
Nigerian
parties.
parents don't love boyfriends.
Yeah. Very, yeah. Yeah, so secondary school, you know, for me, especially in the boarding house, was
They
okay.
want to know about shot puts. Because we've only got a few minutes.
Okay, you tell them.
You
about
tell
it.
them.
You know more of shop food than I do.
Oh, really? You didn't go through shot puts?
No.
Okay.
You went through shop, but
Oh, she
I went to Ade Super.
you did.
Are they super?
Ade
Out of
Super.
pause.
Yes,
Okay, let me
hotel.
tell you. Let me tell you what shot put is. Guys, I'll tell you what shot put is. Because she said she went out of school
Yeah, to
and
do
they
my
took her
shop food.
to do her shot puts. Okay, so the school where we were, the toilets were disgusting.
No toilet.
No, there were toilets, but they were disgusting. So there was no water. We had to we had pails that we had to fetch our water and keep the water.
Yeah.
So obviously we eat, and when you eat, you have to go.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to empty.
You have to empty your barrels. But the toilets were places that you just did not go. So there was an area where,
Probably get disease if you go to the
oh my gosh, it was ammonia. You know, the smell of ammonia. That's like strong urine.
You don't even go there.
And so what we'll do is we'll just get some paper, lay your paper, you do your business, wrap it up, and throw it over the fence.
That's the foot.
And that's the shortcut. Now she's telling me that she didn't do any of that.
No, I
So
can't
every
do it.
time she wanted to go, she would leave the school.
And go to
And
Ade
what's up? I mean, how long would it take? I just feel like you have to go by taxi. So you'll be bursting for the toilet and you'll be going to Ade Super. I don't think so. I think you must have done a few.
So what if the poo falls out of the rack?
Okay.
That's the person's business.
So I tell you another thing about the
Maybe he
chocolate.
heads on someone's head.
So you throw it over the fence, right? Another thing we used to do when we were in Undo was we used to go to parties a lot. So once it's lights out, we would go, you know,
sneak out.
sneak out. Yeah. And there'll be taxis. We have to pass through the shopfoots. So the place
Do you
is
smell?
you're too hurry, you're too, you know, you're just getting out of the compound very quickly because it's, you know, it's, the taxis are waiting on the other side. So that was the only way we had to go through the shop puts, you know. So whether we stepped on it or not, you know, you're trying to avoid it because it should be in the paper anyway. So and it was dark.
Well, they're like piles of
Very dark.
Yeah, there are piles of shop puts everywhere.
So you even clean that up?
They don't pack them.
It's not cleaned up. It's you know, it's
It's just piled up.
fertilizer.
Oh,
Yeah. Fertilizer's a place.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that was shortcuts, and also another thing that we used to do is the bathrooms were just dismal. So we used to have our bath outside. You know, that's what you do. You just stand outside the house.
I remember there was one
together,
time.
like everyone just showering.
Yeah,
No, and it's shower. She did
Yeah.
that. Told you to shower. I said a pail of water.
Yeah.
You have to manage your water with a bucket.
Yeah. You need a pail. The pail, you'd have a bowl, and you'd brush your teeth and wash your knickers and have your shower.
I remember there was one day, one lady. I don't know whether you remember that. There was this lady who came round and I don't know what happened. We had an argument. So she poured my water and I poured her water.
Wow.
Luckily, Ingrid was having her bath.
Okay.
Ingrid just signed to me like, oh, come
Come
and
and share.
So we
Yeah.
just shared, you know.
Yeah. That was our life growing up.
Isn't it like another thing that you guys used to do? I don't know if you still do it, but like wash your underwear.
Yeah.
Hand wash your
Every day.
underwear.
Yeah.
Like, that's not normal to me.
Yeah.
Then we got like, well,
No, those people, a lot of my friends still do that.
really?
Because their parents might have shown
Yeah.
and taught them how to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You wash your undies.
Yeah, that's what I said. With the same bucket of water,
Mm-hmm.
you would brush your
Brush your
teeth,
teeth.
wash your underwear, and then have your shower. And then you have people, because when you fetch the water the night before, you have people who all their goal in life is to go and steal a bowl of water from everyone's pail
And, you know, get a full pail.
and then get a full one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did you used to shield it then? How did you used to stop them?
You put it under your bed. So if you put it under your bed and you're sleeping on top, it's they can't really get to it.
Yeah.
But some people are diehards, they'll find a way.
Guys, that's all we have time for today.
Oh, that's really short.
Well,
Next
maybe they'll come back.
time.
Yeah. But thank you, Auntie. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
And everyone. Thanks for
Anytime.
coming on.
Thank you. Thank you, Evelyn.
Okay.
Thank you, sis.
But yeah, that's what we have time for, and I'll see you guys next week in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, follow all the 360 chat socials as well. They'll be linked down below. Bye.